Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me here at Esther 5D Energy for another multidimensional Monday. I have Cheryl here with me today, and
Hi,
I'm really
everybody.
glad. Say hi. Um,
Hi.
Thanks, Cheryl. She does these terrific interviews with me in the Galactic Command, and I just feel so privileged to have her give me another interview. So the Galactic Command is on board, and I'm going to go into channel and we're going to see what they have to say today. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. And thank you for all your lovely comments. I really appreciate it. All right, Cheryl, I'm going to go into channel.
Perfect. And while Esther steps aside, I just want to take a moment to thank you all for watching and tuning in. And Esther has mentioned in the past, if you have questions you'd like us to address with the Galactic Command, make sure you leave some comments down below. And then we'll see what they decide they want to address.
This vessel steps back, and the Galactic Command steps forward. And we thank you for this energetic transmission. We thank you for being here in this moment of now. And we appreciate the energy with which you are focused on this subject and wish to communicate with us and the response that we've gotten from you. We appreciate working with humans at this time. Cheryl has some questions for us. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Absolutely. And welcome, Galactic Command. It's an honor to be able to converse with you again. It's quite exciting. So today I want to touch on timelines, and specifically the question that I have to start with is how many timelines are actually on Earth?
It's a layered question. For your world is multidimensional. So you can imagine there are different ways of viewing time in the earth plane. There's the earth itself that has a rhythm, a beat, a seasonal shift, and even longer patterns of time with shifts and changes over the years, where 500 years there's certain cycles, 1,000 years there's certain cycles. So you see, that is one timeline. That is a type of grounded timeline here in your reality that allows for you to feel peaceful. That's something that you can count on, that you're beginning to understand more and more as things change and the energy changes. Your awareness of the earth plane is going to become more and more important in your growth. So that is one timeline. For the earth supports you here, supports your biology and your energy here, and is part of your alignment. The other timeline we would like to discuss is the human one, the human collective as one collective. In other words, there is a plan that you are not aware of in your conscious state at this moment. That is a large picture version of what humans are wanting to evolve into. In other words, you're now becoming aware of the next stage of your development. They call it an ascension process. And what that means is you're bringing more light into your bodies. You're becoming more aware of your other abilities, of your multidimensional self, in a way that will allow you to live here more harmoniously, find solutions to the many issues here with humans, make it easier to navigate, and make abundance for everyone here possible on the earth. And that's a human collective timeline. And you are all participating in it in your own way. Then there is a more finite timeline as individuals. So this awakening process that you're going through for each one of you is a little different. Each consciousness has had a different amount of experience here on the earth plane and learnings. So before you come for another iteration, another lifetime, you look at what is needed here. You look at where you want to be in your own progress as an eternal being, as a consciousness, and also as a human. See, you know you're coming here to be human, and you're like, what does the humans need to grow, expand their consciousness further to allow them to hit that next level of evolution? And as you do that, as you come in, you take on a role. You take on a role as a person, and you allow the energies to affect you a certain way for particular learnings, so that in those self-realization moments, or sometimes just quite naturally, you grow and understand how to navigate here better. Perhaps decisions you made in the past, you can easily look at and say, you know, I've shifted, I've changed a little bit on that. You see, those are allowing things to come through naturally. It's not forced. And then there's those of you that have realized that there's a little bit more work that can be done on yourself to allow more of the real you to come forward, the conscious you, the super conscious you, that higher self that will enable you to go to that next stage of evolution faster. And the human collective has asked for our help in this, and we agreed. So that's why we are here in this time, in this way, working with you as individuals. You're all unique, but your energy, your souls are connected. So what you do for yourself affects everyone. You are doing your part when you work on yourself. And that's a beautiful thing to know. By loving yourself that much, you are actually energetically radiating that out to everyone, that way of being, and making it easier for them to feel that way as well. And when that happens, and it is catching on, we see a great shift in energy. It radiates out to all of you. So just know that by being aware of your timeline, of where you are at in your development, allow that to proceed, allow it to go forward and what is comfortable for you. And just know that there are others taking a little bit different path, and that is okay. For as you know, there's many different parts, moving parts here, but it is all one big effort. Does that help, Cheryl?
It does. And I thank you, because I had wondered how are the timelines created. So it makes sense that, as you said, in each iteration that we've kind of created that timeline in advance of. But you also mentioned that the Earth has a timeline, and maybe I'm going in too deep, which is entirely possible, but how is that timeline created?
The Earth's timeline,
Yes.
is intrinsically connected to humans in many ways. For her consciousness is responding to you. And as you lift your frequency, it allows her to respond to that in a certain way that is not linear. It is not linear, it is out of space and time, and it is as a support for you. So you will see the different realities she has to offer you, the elemental spirit realm that's here, that helps to navigate this earth plane, and many different beings that look different from you that actually are here, but at this point unseen, that are in support. The earth also has her own timeline in that humans are a part of it, but how would we describe it? A bit separate in that you as a collective will move on in your timeline of development, and the earth will remain, and the earth will remain here and be used by you, and other beings from other planets will be able to come in eventually in your development, you see. So earth will expand her presence in the galactic world, we will say, but she will remain beautiful and intact for millennia. There's so much here that could be developed biologically, other life forms perhaps in the future, other types of animals coming forward that maybe perhaps weren't here before, other types of plants. As things change and evolve here, your planet has always shifted and changed, always. You look back to dinosaur times, that you found the bones, they were here. There was a place and a time for that. And as things evolve with humans, that these other things will also evolve with her as well. But she is not for you to destroy. So we will put it that way. Nuclear weapons and many of things that you have here were prevented from taking out the earth. So it was up to humans to decide, do you want to stay on this beautiful planet? But it was not your planet to take out, so to speak, to do what you want with totally. We had to allow you to evolve, to learn from what you were doing and your consequences of your actions here, and decide you wanted something better. But when it comes to the planet itself, it was intended to stay here. And does that answer your question?
It does. And it's the perfect segue into what I'm very fascinated with at the moment. In the US, there's a lot of congressional hearings going on about extraterrestrials and sighting and what the government knows and is hiding, and those that are stepping forward with irrefutable proof of encounters, of communications with beings like yourselves. And I kind of want to go into that realm if we can and get your viewpoints on those congressional hearings and the way things are transpiring. Is that a topic we can get into?
Yes, it is. And we will just say that we appreciate the courage it takes for humans to come forward, that they have much support from other humans that have been documenting these things for years. But it is still a personal decision that changes their life, you see. So we respect that and we honor it, and we support them in many ways energetically to allow them to have the courage to come forward, to allow certain things to take place, to make it easier for this information to be found, to be looked at, to be revealed. And so as humans begin to look at these people that are actually not just coming forward to talk about it, but they take an oath that they're telling the truth. They're not perjuring themselves, you see. And that's a little bit different than just having a press release, so to speak. When someone is asked to testify in a courtroom or a hearing like this, they have to take an oath. And if anything they have said is found to be untrue, then they can be held accountable for that in your courts. So you see the courage it takes for them to actually take that oath and sit down and speak these things, knowing that the government has been denying it all along. They indeed have checked and rechecked their facts to make sure that they have proof of everything they are saying. This takes much preparation and time. So in that light, we are encouraging people to have an open discussion about this. to allow themselves to expand their thinking on the possibility of this being real. Many of you are still not comfortable with that. And we just want you to know that it would be a peaceful revealing if they would allow it to be that way. It is not something to be fearful. In fact, the fearful information that is coming forward is from other humans possibly misusing new technology, misusing funds and money, and doing things perhaps illegally towards other humans. Does that surprise you? Really? Because this is the way that many secret organizations have been run. You see, they've been not subject to accountability for anything that they've been doing. And they've been holding back technology that would make your world a better place for every human here. Free energy is one of the ones that many people need now. And so it is some of these technologies and reverse engineerings that have been used by humans, but not really for the betterment of humanity. So that is the part that we say would be the danger of not talking about it. You see, many people have been hurt and silenced in many different ways to trying to tell the truth about these things. It is not the Galactics that have been always being presented as the ones attacking, but there has been some controversy on that. And there have been in the past Galactics on the planet that haven't always held our point of view, and they have been removed. So what we are looking at now is a little bit different Galactic Federation involvement because of the human collective decision, because of the cleaning up of the earth of energies that no longer serve humanity's evolution to the next stage. So some of the encounters have been not exactly, we would say, spoken of in truth. They have been skewed. They have been offered in such a way to cause fear. And we are not fear-based here. We come in peace, and our way of being is to accelerate and evolve the human aspect by its permission. So we just say to look at these facts that these people are bringing forward, to send them love and encouragement, to be open to discussing it amongst yourselves, and not in a fearful way, but in a positive way. For we are advanced beings, and we have been here a long time, and we are not here to take down humans and destroy anything. We are here to make things better, to help you evolve, and to help bring out the truth of what has been going on, so that you have a better understanding of how to go forward in the new energy that's here on the planet.
So all that said, and I'm not skeptical per se. However, there's always that part of me that wonders, how can I tell what is truth and what is fear-based BS, for lack of a better term, if you're familiar what BS means on the globe.
Can you give us an example of what you would consider fear-based?
Well, we need to defend something. We can't see it, so how do we shoot it down to protect?
Yes, it is very much the government's line to promote that. In fact, they use this as saying that's why it's classified. That's why we can't tell you, you see, because it's dangerous and you don't need to know. And it's on a need to know basis because it's dangerous and we're protecting you.
And that's
this
the
is
fear.
the part. Yes. And this is the part that we say these people coming forward are not bringing forward information that is showing a need for that protection, danger, fear. It is not their information, the sightings they've had, a lot of the encounters they've had, although unusual and perhaps in that moment overwhelming in the energy, would perhaps seem fearful. We would say that there is no reason to shoot down anything. There's no reason to proceed in that way against galactic energy. Now, in this timeline, in this period of now, you see there have been in the past galactic interaction that was, we would say, at this point, not necessary or not always approved. And we have, again, decided to move forward with your evolutionary step. So we have decided in that cooperation that we would remove anything that would be standing in your way of that. And that is what's been done. And so there are still those that would prefer to make things very dramatic, we will say, but it is not necessary to see it from that perspective. But that would be definitely a fear-based typical government response, that the things that they have are weapons against bad energies coming here, when in fact they have embraced many of the technologies that we have shared with them, but then at the same time refuse to bring it forward to the public. And we shared technology with them. They have worked with Galactics on certain projects at certain levels. And so when that is revealed, you can hardly stand and say, where is the fear of defending? You see, that part is not necessary. It's not necessary to make a war against galactic beings. That's not why we're here, and we will not engage in a war with you. So that is why we are not waiting for your governments to decide to come around peacefully and discuss this with us. We have gone to them many times over the years and worked with many and still are. So we also wish to allow everyone else to have that relationship with us and feel our energetic support in our communication with you, and understand from their personal perspective what it is like to work with the Galactic Command, what it is like to work with the Galactic Federation and beings of light.
Which then brings me to, for many that are welcoming, inviting, energetically, metaphysically, what's the word I want? Communication, clear communication with the Galactic Command. How can they move forward to open up those conversations, those relationships? Because what I'm understanding is, yes, the Galactics have been here for a while. They've had conversations with government bodies and a few other people. What about the larger group of people?
There are large groups of people that have looked into this, who have made meditation groups, so to speak, asking for contact. There's local groups, there's groups online. And these would not be fear-based groups. These would be groups that are peacefully able to show you how to quiet the mind in a meditation, and ask for higher wisdom, higher self. Ask for a higher vibrational shift in your body and alignment. And there are many meditations and many ways of doing this. Even when you're driving, when you're walking, you can do this. It doesn't have to be sitting in a chair a certain way or standing a certain way. Whenever your mind is quiet and peaceful, and you call for your guidance system, and you call for the galactic command, and you let us know that you are open for communication, that you are peaceful, that you are clear, that you step aside your own personal opinions and judgments and allow some messages to come through, you see, and don't have an expectation on what you think that's going to feel like or look like, because it's going to feel a little different to each one of you as your vibration shifts. And as these messages come through, they might come through in different ways. So leave your mind open to that. Leave your mind open to how communication can happen. It could be through another person. It could be through something that you read. It could be through something that a discussion you have, or perhaps something you watch. These informations can be given to you and communicated to you in many different ways, so that the very questions that you have get answered. And this is where some self-awareness comes in, when these synchronicities line up. You say, wow, I was just thinking about that a few days ago, and now here's the answer. You see, we can work with you in many different ways, not to cause fear or anxiety or a feeling of overwhelmness, but in a very peaceful, loving, gentle way. We can provide healing and alignment to the body as you learn to relax and let go of your stress, that everything here is going to be okay, that your path is going to be as it should be, and that things will evolve naturally for you if you allow it to. You have to relax into that natural way of being, the natural energy that is within you to come up and assist you. And that allows for connection. And there are practice groups that have different ways of connecting. And meditation we like because it allows you to be in a peaceful state at the time of connection. And that allows for a very positive experience, allows for you to really feel the energy. And many of you are getting to the point where you could feel the energy in different parts of your body when we connect with you, in your heart, in your mind. You could feel it radiating throughout. So we just wanted to encourage you to keep going. Seek out those that are offering perhaps groups doing this work, and you get to do what is comfortable for you in this way. Does that help?
It is wonderful. So one last question, because you brought up the meditation. You have shared through the vessel Esther one meditation already that was delightful. Can we expect that she will be able to bring forth other meditations for people to enjoy?
Yes, we are going to be giving her more meditations. We have encouraged her to do this.
Yay!
And we know that when you are given things on YouTube, there's many commercials. Some of you had mentioned from her last meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So she is going to be putting them on her website, so you can download them there for free. And she is working on her website right now, organizing that. And that way you don't have to use the YouTube station for the meditations. And she will be announcing those meditations, and you are free to look at them and decide which ones would work for you.
Wonderful. That is great news for everybody watching, because I personally thoroughly enjoyed the last meditation. So yay. Final closing words from you to summarize the timelines, and I guess with the Galactics, because you're already here, do you have a timeline specific where there will be more obvious connections with humans?
We are looking one date comes into mind, and that is 2027. And we just feel that energetically there will be more information, that it will be given in such a way in that year of 2027 that will leave a markedly different feeling in the general population that we exist. That they will be shifting their viewpoint quickly with the information, and it will take them time to integrate this information. So we feel by 2027 that this will be a good year to reflect back from this point in time to that time, to see the difference in the amount of information, the belief of the general population, and the way that they're viewing it. For it will take time for them to, they will want to believe it is peaceful, but then when your governments are portraying things as dangerous, because that's why it's top secret, you see, that leads a little doubt in their mind, like, oh, maybe they're right, maybe we needed to be protected, you see. So when really the information the governments received would have allowed your world to evolve to the next level a little faster, a little easier, a little less manipulated with the energy. And so that is what we will say now on that. That is the year we would put, there will be a shift in that year. And we don't normally give dates, and this channel is very cautious. She's cautious. So we just would like to say, for us, this is the date we feel would be a date that you could definitely see a big change in the way that the population and the way it's talked about is, you will understand at that time compared to this time now in 2023.
Wonderful. Oh, thank you very much, Galactic Command. As always, it's been a pleasure to be able to communicate with you clearly through the channel of Esther Gates, and ask some questions that create curiosity and, of course, enlighten us in what's going on the planet, with ourselves, with each other, and learning to have some patience for the future trajectory.
Yes. Thank you, Cheryl. Namaste.
Namaste. And as Esther steps back into her body, I want to thank you again for joining us today. And oh my gosh, type in the comments that you look forward to some of the new meditations as well. She's back.
Hi. That was really interesting. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for that interview. That was great. And I look forward to seeing what types of meditations I channel. I do channeled ones, so it should be interesting to see what they bring forward for people wanting to have contact and wanting to just open up their consciousness and expand it in a way that will make things more clear to them in their life. So
absolutely. I think it's quite fascinating. It's exciting that they said, yes, you're bringing forth new meditation. So we look forward to that. I've thanked everybody for watching. Of course, this is your station. So final words.
Well, no pressure on the meditations, right? Now I really have to get to work, don't I? She kind of got me on that by announcing it, right? So now I really got to produce. Oh, well, thank everyone for listening. And thank you, Cheryl, for being here in this collaboration. I love the way you do the interviews, and with the Galactic Command, it's really satisfying to put this out. And I look forward to everyone's response. I hope they find it helpful as well. So thank you. Thank you for listening. Namaste.